So when I'm trying to get that hair texture, as you see, I'm basically going around these little shapes of hairs with the light tone. Then I'll come back if I want to structure it out a little bit more. I'll come back deep inside with the medium tone, maybe even a dark tone. Depends on how much of that separation you want to get, because the more dark it is, the more it's going to pop forward. But as we come to that end, I definitely soften those edges out. You want it to feel like hair. If it's too straight, it definitely won't feel realistic. It'll feel kind of illustrative. You might want to do an outline at that point. But realistic, we don't do no outlines. So of course, that's why we're using our mag. The whole tattoo was done with the what, 15 and the 23 curve mag. But I know for sure with this detail, I'm definitely going to switch down to that 7 curve mag is what we're using now. So 7 curve mag get us this detail. We're about to slowly fade that out. And the reason why I say light shades, because especially by these whispers, it's white hair on a cub or lion. Some of these hairs are definitely white, so you don't want this dark at all. All this in there is done with a light tone. And of course, the reason why all that's done with the light tone, because once the hair up, you want that to be super soft, and you want only our shadows to kind of pop forward. And that's what's really gonna give it that hair texture feel. If all that's dark, it's gonna be kind of, what they call it, what's the word for it? Cluttered. You don't want your own piece all cluttered. I even left this big old open space because there was definitely more light on this side of the hair. So I try to keep it realistic and leave that highlight right there by itself, not do too much to it. Now you see how I got these darks. I'm gonna definitely come back in the middle because I want this to definitely stand on top of the rolls. So I'm gonna come back with some of this black, structure out some of these hairs because I definitely want that to pop out a lot more. It is doing right now. See how darker that is? Pop out a little bit more. Boom. All right, y'all. So we're going with the medium tone now, like the chest hair from the lion or cub. It do be having some white hairs, but by this being underneath the chin, of course the face sit out more, the chest sit back. So you definitely want to cast some shadows on that white hair back there. It's not going to be super dark, but you want to be able to tell that that chin is sitting out more than that chest is. And in order to do that, you need to create some kind of shadow. Don't got to be too dark. But as we get closer down by the rolls, I'm definitely going to make it a lot more darker. And I'm not changing the patterns that I'm doing with the textures because I still want to show that there's hair in the back. All right, with my medium tone, what I'm doing, I'm kind of cutting off some of these strands of hair. You want them to come down a nice bit, but you gotta kind of cut them off at some point. So you see that's all chin hair.
Hi, this is looking good.
So I'm cutting off some of our hairs, appreciate it. Some of it you do want to kind of just fade out. Some of it you wanted to show that, okay, yes, you cut it off right there. Create them sharp cut-offs. But at the bottom, I ain't want it too sharp, so I want to kind of, that's why I did a mag instead of a liner. If you use a liner, it's going to be way more sharper. But I want this to be like, feel soft. As we get up here in the eyes and stuff, I want that to feel more sharp. This is going to be more soft. Even though it's sitting on top of this, I still want it soft because it's hair. For the lion cub, that's why I switched over to this 3.2 stroke. Because the other one hit way too hard, and I know I'm going to do way more building up. Like for these light white hairs, I do way more building up. So trying to do that with the 4.2 stroke, it's just me, I'm not comfortable with it. I prefer to do it with my 3.2. Get more passes on the skin for sure. And that's another thing you can't forget about, like on a lion, tiger, cub, anything like that. You follow that shape of the jaw. See that where that lip at? It curve around. So make sure you come back with some kind of dark, or even if it's a light tone, to kind of structure that part out to show that, yes, it's still curving around. You don't want to just completely lose that. So make sure you follow that all the way around. Even on this side, because you got to come up. You got to come straight through that way. So make sure you follow that between the hairs. Same thing on that side. You got to make sure you follow through. I might come back with some more darkers on that side and follow that lip. And I'll say an easy way to tattoo the whiskers. That's why I make one line. I used to stencil it with 2 lines, but now I just create one line. And you basically shading a line on the side of that line. And then this gap, of course, is going to be a little bit darker to structure out that jawline. You basically shade the line on the side of a line. So this is my one line. I'll follow that line in the back. In the front, I just create a line. That's how you kind of get your whiskers for sure. I used to do this part with a 3-round liner. But how big this one is, I could definitely use the 7 curve mag. No problem. But if it was smaller, I'd definitely probably use my 7-round liner. We're going back with that medium tone. Structure that shadow out. You know, the reason why I say medium, because you don't want to go like real black. But there's also white hair that's behind these whiskers. It's just that by that little whole gap being there, it's just the shadow that sits back there. So I say not pure black. But if you go for like illustrator style, you could definitely go pure black. It's gonna stand out regardless. But realistic, I just try to keep the tones kind of as natural as possible. Sometimes you gotta pump some tones up though. Like those blacks, if I was working on a darker skin tone, I wouldn't be using this many tones. It's really 3 tones, but I'd definitely be using like black a lot more. So we're going in our light tone with the 15 curve mag. Like I said, I want this side to be soft, so we're gonna create some slight hair with a bigger mag so it could be more softer versus using a smaller mag and trying to get it sharp. So remember, bigger mag, create more softer. Smaller mag, that's when you're looking to get more harder detail. So you're going in with this bigger mag. Remember this white hair on this side, so you ain't trying to do too much to it. That's why I say the light tone. Definitely ain't trying to do too much. And I'm always, whenever I'm doing like lion, tiger, stuff like this to create that fur, I'm always using the edge of my mag. I'm never really using it flat. Using that edge trying to create those hair strokes. But if they're soft, hard, whatever, I'm always catching myself using that edge. That's why I think most of the time I'm like using this versus like down there I was kind of using the full mag. But yeah, I'm always gonna keep it on the edge to try to create them hairlines. But I can see it though, we're gonna definitely have to shade on the outside of the face. Which I'm about to do that like right now. Create some shades on the outside of the face. So that's gonna only help pop that hair out right there. And the reason I'm doing with a mag also on the outside of the face, you don't want it to be no hard line. You want it to remain soft. So dipping that light tone, dipping your water if you definitely need a lighter tone that you don't really have out. Because I catch myself doing it a lot when I'm using the 3 tones. I'll dip in the light. If I want to lighten that lightest tone up, you dip in your rinse cup. You want to capture some more shades. Because the smaller shades, you'd be surprised. It don't look like it'll show, but it'll be there once the tattoo heal up. And that's only if you, I guess, saturate it in there. Make sure it's in the skin. Alright y'all, now we coming in with the medium tone. Structuring some of this out. Those little dots that's in there. Also some of the hairs that need a little texture. Oh, the phone? Some of these dots that need a little more darkening. Coming in with the medium tone. They're not too hard.
Yeah. Yeah, you can hear me? You hear me? Yeah, you can hear me? Okay, yeah. Yeah. Come on.
Alright y'all, notice we got more shadows on this side. So I'm going with the black for some of our own dots for the pores for the hair. The reason I'm going in black because I'm about to go back in with the medium tone to kind of darken this side up a little bit more. And that way, once it healed, our black still gonna pop out for them textures. So back into the medium tone now. But I start adding some textures with this medium tone. Like I said, there's more shadows on this side of the face. So this side, only right that it's gonna be a little bit darker. Because the light is hitting the other side, that's why it's a lot of light spots. But to create that, of course, you gotta kind of lay your tones down right. Trust the process. And I'm only working with 3 tones, light, medium, and dark. So we're gonna do this side just like we did the left side. Like I said, this side is darker, so it's still gonna be soft, but we're gonna kind of definitely build up the tones a little bit more on this side. So you can see that this side is darker. But taking that same process, same method that we was using, about to build up the tones a little bit more on this side. Remember, we're always on the edge. That's how you create them textures, like hairline strokes you're creating. Versus just doing completely flat, which I know some people do it like that. So you stay on, but realistic wise, you're kind of creating hairs. You're not kind of creating a flat, smooth shade. So you always catch yourself building up these hairlines. If you want, just like tattooing like eyebrows on a person, you're kind of doing hair strokes. You're not trying to just shade them in black. Keep building that up. Remember I said we start out with the light and then we build up. If we need our medium tone, the black, we'll build up from there. I'm about to create this shadow on the outside of here. So we're just gonna have light on the edge of that face. Since we have this leaf that's gonna be casting that shadow, we're gonna kind of help that pop out from that leaf. And black in the background, well, gray, medium tone, gonna be kind of in that background.
Thanks for joining the live. Your follow, we appreciate.
Like I was saying, turn your mag to the side. It's basically, like you said, the skin tone that we kind of using. Those negative shapes, and we just making lines around those to kind of create those hair textures. So you're definitely using a lot of that skin. And I think that goes for whatever skin tone you're on, light skin, whatever. You're not shading in those little small spots because you want it to still look like hair. And that's one thing I was saying right there, like the hair, as the face curves, you gotta follow the structure of it. Like right here, the hair kind of sleek down. That's why I'm going down like that. But hair going many directions, so as it comes up, it kind of curve over that bridge right there, that cheek. It kind of come like that versus going this way, it's coming this way. You gotta follow those hair strokes because all that kind of plays a part. Until realistic, that's why I tell people, if you got a round object, follow the shape of that round object. Don't shade it flat. You want to follow the direction of that shading. To show that this curve over, come down to about right here, and then as it comes across here, it kind of cuts back. So it goes over, and then it cut back. So you know you gotta definitely follow that. That's a lot of things I never paid attention to, like, you know, starting out. I just tried to get the image looking like the image, but when you follow those shades, those curves, all that kind of plays a part, and you'll definitely see progress. Come down and down, boom. But if it's shadows, great depth, whatever it is, everything matters, everything plays a part. All right, now you about to go in our medium tone. See where we got some of them shadows at. And start knocking some of that in there. And like I said, it's soft, so you ain't trying to create no super hard lines. You want to definitely keep this soft. Like I said, that don't stop us from creating that here. But you can kind of make it more wider passes. Like now I'm kind of creating them like this versus directly on the edge. So we learn as we go, Making more wider strokes versus thinner strokes. And the thinner strokes definitely give it more of a sharper feeling, but we just keep on moving, learn as we go. Cause I just started catching on to like, okay, let me turn on some wide strokes to actually soften it up. And that's what any tattoo, I kind of learn, go through it as I go. Some things I learn within quick seconds, some things like, might take me a couple of times doing some lines before I'm like, oh, that's a different way of doing it. There's always got a different way of doing it though. So no matter how many ways use the one that works best for you. Always. Cause I learned this for like other things too, when making them bright highlights. If you want it to be softer, you definitely gotta add more shade into those negative shapes. I'll say instead of leaving that, you'll soften it up by just shading it a little bit. Not saying you gotta shade it in the dark, but just by showing less skin, it will automatically be more softer once it heals. Just by showing less skin. Them skin breaks, let's help things pop out. I'm gonna soften up a lot more of this. Just by bringing that down, closing that skin break gap. This edge, I definitely want that to continue to pop out, so I'm gonna leave that light right over there. That'll definitely soften it up a lot. Alright, y'all see on this nose, I'm using definitely bigger strokes, covering more area because the nose has definitely got more dark shading right here. But this is the light tone, so I'm gonna cover broader strokes for bigger spots with this on mag. That's why I'm using it flat like this. But I'm gonna come back with that head texture with our medium tone. Right now we just kind of starting that foundation. We already know this is like darker on top of the nose, so just covering those shadows where they're gonna be at. We ain't got too much skin breaks up in here. That's why we're gonna come back with our medium tone to kind of know where our shadows and stuff at, where our actual texture is out here. But yep, I'm probably gonna catch myself blocking it out because I know this constantly going through this. Yeah, we'll be like a long time. But that's just with the time that we had like 5 hours to do this, which I know the face itself was like the 3 hours, and I did do it bigger, but I know I wasn't gonna be able to get through the whole face. I'm probably gonna put the basic foundation, start doing basic foundation, finishing the whole thing out, come back and get those textures like that. But I'm glad I did do the textures over here because this side way more softer, that side more darker. Alright, now as we approach the right side, like I said, we got more details on this side, so we definitely gonna use that mag all the way on that tilt. Create those textures. See that hair kind of folding across the nose that way. I say create that direction of that fur. And this is just a light tone. Like I said, wherever we see our shadows at, always come back with that medium tone. Block it in, block it in. So right there is where that nose kind of curves in right here too. Create some of that hair going straight back. Create that indentation right there on the nose. And then you're gonna cut back out. Which means I'm gonna definitely come back there with my medium tone. Make sure that indentation stand out a lot more. Like I said, this side is lighter, so we're just creating some medium tone shadows, not too much. Lightly hitting it. Just so we see them shadows right there. You got to structure this little indent out on the nose. Also,
You gotta go on YouTube.
create some of these textures in the nose. Like I said, it's that medium tone. So can't forget these shadows in the nose. Boom. Some more of these indentures. Come back on top. Here you go, they got a bigger indenture right there, darker. Just coming back on top of this, creating more of those shadows. More texture showing that first, so I'm about to create something going this way. I said you're gonna be able to tell the difference between that light tone when it heal up and this medium tone that I'm creating these textures with. It's deeper than the surface. You know, that's why I say you gotta trust your tones for sure. That's part of the process. All right, now we coming in with a little light dipped in the rinse cup. Try to fill in the back of this part of the mane. It's not, I guess you could say it, nah, it's a cub, so just to tell, I don't think cub line got a mane. Lion, like full adult line got the mane. Gonna softly shade that in. This is definitely gonna be one of the lightest spots, so I'm gonna definitely not put too much shade in here. Mostly probably gonna be skin breaks. But it's gonna be soft. No hard lines. So since I said it's the softest spot, definitely no hard lines. Do some broad strokes. Soften some edges up. When it heal up, it's gonna be real soft to the touch, you know? How we want it, soft. And I'm bringing this shade to the edge because I'm gonna wind up shading on the outside of it. I'm not gonna come close to that here. We're gonna let this kind of hold its own weight. Let it hold its own weight right there on that edge. We definitely want that soft. Alright, let's start working our way across the bottom eye. Alright, y'all, we going back with the medium tone in the eye. Try to create some darks right here. Want that to stand out. Alright, y'all, so we going in the eyes. Now definitely go around the eyes with that black because the lions and tigers have that black around the eyes right there. We'll go around there with that black. And this is a mag. Don't do it with a liner, it's gonna be way too sharp. That's why I got used to doing it with a mag. We're using black, but with the mag at 8 volts still. We did the whole piece at 8 volts. 8 volts, you ain't gotta change your machine speed, just change up your hand speed. Everything consistent. And the inside of the eye, always make sure that pupil black. That's that solid black pupil. And of course, they always got that little highlight right next to it. Alright, y'all, we ain't get through the whole thing, but hopefully y'all learned something from that video. Learn something from this video. We just about to wipe it down till next time. Then we're gonna get back in there with them details. Finish the rest of the head off. And probably also gonna be moving up some more. Nope, you ain't going up no more. He said she's done. Said she ain't gonna be going up.
But it's the head, that's that.
Alright, whatever you like.
Color.